Welcome back to the studio after that fantastic match between Kolbas Inside and Agmar Money Team. One of the best matches of today, for me at least. Really skilled piloting, really intense match. We are joined here with CCP Rise.
Hello.
Instead of CCP Dolan, who had just gone on break. There is something special about today, isn't it?
Yes, we heard one again.
Not that what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it's your birthday.
It is my birthday.
And we're going to sing you happy birthday.
I think that's a terrible idea.
I think it's an awesome
And I think
idea.
everyone in Twitch chat should join in.
Yes, everyone in Twitch chat should definitely
home.
join in. And as we said yesterday, send him tweets and private messages in Eve and show him your love. So happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Rise.
Yeah, let's do Rise.
Happy birthday to you.
Yay.
How does it feel to be 23?
Really good.
Yes.
A lot better than being 19 or whatever.
You go from 22 to
That's right.
Yeah.
No, you went from 19 to 23 because you're just a time bender like that. But before we get carried away with talking about how old you are,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit about that match.
Sounds good.
That
so
was...
if we can, get the stat screen up and look at that a little bit.
I mean, that was an excellently flown match by Kolbas Inside. Agmar Money Team also, there wasn't some kind of big mistake that they made that lost it for them. It was just a grind. They lost that Astarte just a little bit before the Aneros went down. If that had gone the other way, then it easily could have swung. Very, very good piloting by Kolbas Inside, not making the same kind of mistakes the Sinosauer Field Theory did against the exact same matchup.
There was a lot of posturing and a lot of tank testing and kind of positioning before they actually dove in and just started fighting. Was there anything that either team did wrong there in your mind?
No, I think it wasn't really tank testing as much as it was just trying to get all of their pieces in place on top of the targets. In this case, both teams, I think, realized that if you don't kill the target right away, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to kill him. They've got newts, they've got just kind of blaster damage that has to slowly kill ships over time when there's so much rep going on. They shot the ships, they also shot the drones, wore those down, and just basically stayed on the correct primaries. The Agmar team guys needed to kill the Aneros, that was the correct primary, and shooting at that Astarte when they couldn't easily catch the Aneros was definitely the best choice for Kolbas Inside.
Something I was thinking about when I was watching this, and I'm curious about your opinion, is these setups are obviously very similar, the setups that both these teams brought, with the Kolbas team choosing to favor a little more damage and tank by bringing the Navy Dummy versus the PL team, which seems to favor a little more control, like with the Celestis and the Blackbird. And in this match, I was wondering how much value they got out of that control. I mean, obviously they lost, so in this case, it works out that it wasn't necessarily the best choice, but just generally that like choosing to have those control options versus going with the pure tank and gank. I
think it's hard to tell how effective the ECM was in that match, but the damps I think definitely were quite effective because the damps are the reason that Aneros for Kolbas Inside got close enough to get caught by the Astartes. That being said, it didn't actually win them the match, but they probably would have lost by a lot more if they couldn't get tackle on that Aneros. If they had to just like shoot at one of the Navy Dami, for instance, while it's being repped by the Aneros, they would have gone really badly for them.
Right.
So while we look for the bands for the next match, CCP Dolan has a surprise birthday present for CCP Rise here.
Yay!
It may be a little bit stale.
Here you go.
This cake is actually from a party from 5 days ago.
No, it wasn't 5 days
3 days ago.
And it's been sitting out over there for like that
It
entire
hasn't been in a
time.
fridge or anything. It's just been like...
We only give CCP Rise the very best cake.
I'm pretty sure it's rotten.
So, no, it's fine.
I'm just gonna
Blow out the candle.
Yay!
All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's go to the bands for the next match. The next match is Gerodian versus Thingy, and Thingy did some talking about smoke, and Thingy had an impressive showing yesterday. So I'm really excited to see what they bring this match. Gerodian banned Armageddon and Dominix, and Thingy banned Ishtar Golem. So once again, we're seeing kind of no drones, and on top of that, a no Golem, please.
the sort of random Marauder bans are interesting.
It's interesting, kind of.
It keeps popping up that there's like one Marauder band.
And it's usually the Golem.
Yeah.
The Golem is the one people are the most afraid of, which kind of makes sense. It is a great kind kind of fit for the tournament arena. It can hit everywhere. It tanks really well.
Yeah.
We saw golems used to a great effectiveness in the Syndicate Competitive League. It was the golem and the paladin were kind of the most dominant in that one. Although we've been seeing paladin and Vargur actually the only two that
I was going to say,
one
the
matches
two
now.
golem, you know, 2 times we've seen golems, they've lost, and the times we've seen other marauders, they've done much better. So, but of course, that just could be the particular setups they've shown up in. But it's still an interesting ban.
Yep.
Yep. I mean, if you are a more kitey setup, then the golem is definitely going to be a challenge for you. So if you wanted to run, say, kitey Nishtars or Helas, then the golem is obviously going to be something you don't want to come up against. So that's definitely something they could be afraid of. Although they banned the Ishtars themselves, so probably they weren't trying to run kitey Nishtars. But anything along those lines.
Right.
So we're about 3 minutes out from this next match. I'm gonna go and read a couple of tweets from the hashtag NEO2 hashtag. Least Randolph tweets, well, at least nobody flew out of the arena. Damage control. So that's an improvement for Elise Randolph.
Good job, at least.
Yes.
Two matches now not going out of the arena.
Very impressive.
That's pretty good. Eve Bet tweeted as well, at EveBet_Eve. Some dude just turned 600 mil into 7.5 billion with an awesome multi-bet pick on Weehurt and Kolbas.
Yeah.
So those 2 matches just netted him 7.5 billion.
I was watching the odds there before the tournament started on EveBet, and I think people were, if you had been betting on Kolbas, you would have made 4.8 something times your money back.
Wow. That's a really good bet.
I know.
I mean, it turns out that it's an amazing bet, but that actually seems a little
even though I thought
over the top.
Agmar would have won that match, I still totally would have taken those odds. I would have been all over Kolbas in that betting. Yeah.
So RVB's Thekla, at @the_Thekla, says, apparently birthdays are the real deal.
This one certainly has been.
Yes.
Getting a lot of love on this one.
So. Are you having a good time? Are you enjoying it so far?
Of course.
That's great.
Course.
That's great. Salah Cameron tweeted.
Salah, of course, a CSM member.
Yes, she tweeted, got #wrecked even though we had the counter. Laughing my ass off. So.
She, yes.
She, yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's. I mean, obviously, the setup they brought worked really well against a similar setup to Kolbas's one yesterday, but Kolbas was just able to pull it off this time. That really effective use of the Navy Dami. I think one of the situations we've seen the Navy Dami brought a bunch of times in the last Alliance tournament. And
we saw. Haven't seen it a ton.
We've seen it once
one other time? Yeah, okay.
But like over the last little while in the tournament, it's been pretty common, mainly to get around Dami bans. A lot of people use it thinking, well, I can just swap out my Dami for Navy Dami, that'll work, and that fails almost every time.
Yeah.
This was obviously not that.
No.
This is not a setup where they wanted a Dami in that spot. They wanted the brawling, high damage, high tank Navy Dami.
Right.
It was perfect.
Yeah, we actually had a conversation, I know we're about ready, but I had a conversation in Twitch chat downstairs before I came up here with people asking why the Dami was better than the Navy Dami, because we see so many more Dominixes. And of course, it's not actually better. It just depends on what you need it to do. And in this case, this is what the Navy Dami is very good at doing, which is just doing a whole lot of damage because of that double bonus. So it was cool to see it used the way it's kind of meant to be used.
It's basically just like this big beast rampaging across the battlefield, killing anything it can get on top of.
Yep.
Yeah.
But now the match is ready, and we're going to go into it shortly after we get the predictions. CCP Fozzie.
Thingy was very impressive yesterday. I'm going to go with him again today.
Yep, that's my pick too.
Yep, 100% my pick as well.
Which means they're going to lose.
Yeah, so far we haven't been correct when we all agree. But let's see if we can turn that around.